Hey, Melanated Magic here with another banger for you. Today, we're going to talk about, because this week we're talking about spiritual things as far as quantum physics and universal things. So today, I'd like to talk about some universal laws. And so I'm going to break them down in a very simple manner because you know me, I like to keep things as simple as possible. If you're looking for more complex explanations, perhaps this is not the channel for you because I like to make things as simple to understand, because after breaking things down to a deep knowledge, you still have to bring it back to simple terms. And that's what I'm doing. I'm shortcutting it to just give you the meat and potatoes rather than the whole entire recipe. Why not just sit down and enjoy the meal, right? Because somebody already did the work, and I see where the simplicities are in this. And so these are things that have helped me. Sorry, y'all, I'm having trouble with my camera and my ring light. Forgive me. I hate this. I need a videographer eventually. So where were we? So we were talking about universal laws. We're going to start with the first one because I'm only going to give you about 11 because there's several. Sometimes there's 12. There are several universal laws. Kind of like, imagine going to college to become a lawyer and you're studying law. There are a ton of laws, but what they do is narrow down which laws they want to niche down to. They desire to niche down to because there's so many laws out there. So the first one is about which I've spoken in other videos, and it's about the divine universal oneness. And universal oneness is understanding that we are all ultimately coming from the one source. We are all one. We're all made in the image and likeness of the Most High. And in that instance, we would have to work towards more compassion, more towards, because I'm not wearing my glasses, and I tell you sometimes I write notes. So yeah, I am reading. I cannot remember everything, and I'm a very busy person, so sometimes I'll take notes or I do my research and then I come and drop you this knowledge. So it says that I show more compassion and acceptance towards those that I do not understand. Do I do that? Because I don't understand them, do I show them more compassion? And another thing that you could do with the law of divineness is to ask yourself, what would love do? What would love do in this instance? How would I handle this in the most loving way I'm able to, right? Law number 2 is about the spirit, the law of vibration. And the law of vibration pretty much says that our vibrational frequency can inform our lived experience. For example, you may be able to make a whole lot of money, but perhaps you do not know how to keep that money, right? Because vibrationally, you could be operating at a lower level because you do not have that high vibrational relationship with money, and you would need to work on establishing. And I gave you a book called Happy Money in one of my videos, and I let you screenshot it because that really helped me see money in a whole different way. My life really changed as to how I viewed money. And you know, when you start late learning these things, then you start having to put your finances in order and start seeing money differently and reestablishing your financial life, right? Because everything is about vibration and energy. What I spoke about with quantum physics is the same thing. So this is vibration and energy. With quantum physics, more about putting it into action, right? And everything is really action, but it's not. Because some things is about having faith after putting intent. Others is about how you treat others, right? So let's continue. Then there's so it says how to apply the law of vibration. It says to try doing yoga, taking sound baths, or conducting chakra work to elevate your vibrational frequencies. The third one is the law of correspondence, which has to do with patterns that are repeated throughout the universe. And our reality, it says, is a mirror of what's happening inside of us at that moment. So think as above, so below. Or let it be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. That as within, so without is whatever it is that you are bringing as a vibration of reality into your existence. That's what you're going to output, right? So if you're without love, if within you're without love, you're going to be without love on the outside, because you can't give what you don't even know how to give to yourself, and that's what you're going to give to others. But if you're with love, then they're not going to go without love, because as within, so without, right? So as and without is because you love yourself so much, and you've grown to love and appreciate yourself more, then you're able now to love other people and connect with them in a place where because they all go hand in hand, all of the laws, where you would put the divine one, the law, the first law into work. What would love do, right? So anyway, those are some of the laws. Let's go to the next one, the fourth one, which is the most popular one, and that's the law of attraction, right? That is the most popular one, but it's law number 4, right? Now, the law of attraction is the most talked about universal law. So it says, it's mostly used for manifestation, which I believe all of them are used for manifestation, but this is the most popular one. So it's about like attracting like, right? So you get what you're seeking for. So if you're a negative person and you're just talking negativity, thinking negative, talking negative about yourself, about others, about situation, all you think about is the negative things that you don't even realize how negative you can sound to other people, and declaring negative words, like, oh, I can't do this, or that never happens for me. That's what you're manifesting, because that's what you're declaring. So you have to work on changing your words. And I'm going to do a thorough video about manifestation, my manifestation experience, how to manifest. That's going to be in this week's lineup. But anyway, really, it says often the inspiration comes from, it says vibrate at the level that attracts with what you are seeking. If you repeat an affirmation but do not believe what you are saying, it is useless. You have to focus on what you desire versus on what you do not desire. And I said that in yesterday's video, that everything you do spiritually, you have to have faith. If not, you could burn sage and get crystals and all that stuff. It will mean absolutely nothing if you don't believe in it, if you don't put your faith in what you're believing in, because we are electric, we are energetic, we are energy in motion, right? That's why we're emotional. Then there's the law of inspired action. This one, it says, it's taking those real actionable steps to invite what we desire in our lives. So now you're taking the inspired action, right? Because it's usually like, it's an idea that comes from within, like a little nudge, a little idea. That's what the law of inspired action is. And now, so it's not always about a plan of action, but it's an idea that first came. That first idea, that's usually the law of inspired action. So then we have the law of, I'm sorry, y'all, I lost my track. The law of cause and effect. And it's exactly like what it sounds, right? The law of, that's pretty much what it's about, karma. That whatever you put out, although you may not get the result of it right away, be it good or be it bad, that's what you're going to get eventually, like a boomerang. It's going to come back to you. So that is the law of cause and effect. If I throw out this boomerang, it's going to come back, and usually with more than what it left with, right? So it's going to possibly lead to good, because it's like, let me see what this says. It says, we often cannot see the effects right away, but there will be a turnaround. Trust that every action will have a reaction, whether it's good or not. Okay, then there's the law of compensation. In other words, you reap what you sow. Whatever seeds you plant, like, for example, I have planted seeds years ago that now are flourishing. I know they're not going to flourish right away. And that's what a lot of people do. They desire to be compensated when they say, like everything has to be my way, when I say how, instead of trusting divine timing, trusting that the universe is working everything in your favor because it understands what your heart is desiring, and that you trust in the Most High and your spiritual guides, and, whoever it is that you are leaning on in your spiritual journey to help you, you need to trust that, and trust them, and trust your Creator, that they desire what's best for you. They're not out to destroy you unless you are an evil person, right? If you're wicked, then now you're our enemy. But if you're a child of the light and a chosen one, things will always work out in your favor. And that's about the law of compensation. So think about, where am I being called to serve, to give? Because the more you give, that boomerang is going to come back with much more returns. So then there's the law of relativity. Let me put this paper down. You know, old folk, we start getting older. We start, you know, I don't mind letting you know I can read. That one, so that one, the law of relativity is about everything being neutral, and that I cannot pronounce this word, relativism, relativism. It's my accent. I'm telling you, I can't get certain words out, but it exists in all things. And in the end, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. That's what I tell my sons when we have our conversations. I'm like, it's all about perception. It's all about perspective. It's all about how people view things, because you and I could see something and get two exactly different perspectives, right? So we have to learn to be respectful of those perspectives. So this law can help us understand the tougher parts of our lives with greater compassion, so that we could be gentler on ourselves and with others. Like, for example, if you live in a life where you're ungrateful, you're not showing gratitude, and you're wishing you had a bigger house or more, or whatever it is, it's usually because you're probably comparing yourself to others rather than working on being grateful where you're at right now, and knowing that better will come, because right now you're still happy and grateful. Like, I'm not at my final destination, but I'm very happy during the journey. You know, am I happy all the time? That would be a straight up lie. We all experience sadness and frustration or whatever, but I always work my best to center myself back in a place of peace, right? Because that peace is not only for me, but those around me as well. So then we have the law of polarity. And that's about everything having an opposite, good or evil, day, night, up, down, except warm, cold. You get it. That's the law of polarity. And then there's the law of rhythm, which are cycles that are a neutral part of the earth. And if you're feeling run down, it says maybe it's better to give yourself some rest instead of powering through. And then there's the law of gender, which has to do with the masculine and feminine energy that exists in all things, because we all have a masculine and a feminine side, but this world is currently being run by a masculine energy, not enough feminine energy. And that's why it's like hustle hard, go, because men are more tunnel visions, whereas women are more perceptive to see different angles. So we're not just working in being, but rather we have to hustle, we have to push, because it's we've been trained in a masculine type of society. And that's really what the law of gender is about. So those are some of the laws I desired to share with you. I pray that it helps you understand that there's so much more to this life other than just man's laws, the Bible's laws, but there are also universal laws. And like I tell people, a law is a law is a law. You work against the law works against you. But you start learning how to work with the laws, then they start working for your good, because you're not trying to violate it. You cannot violate what has been set by the Most High eternally, right? So once you learn how to flow in those vibrations and start working them together and seeing how all those laws come together, and you're following the laws and obeying those laws, the law, it has no choice but to bless you. The universe has to bless you. So that's the reason why I desired to do this week's videos, to go showing you how you can go training your mind to thinking outside the box, looking at different points of views, things you may not have ever thought about, or something you probably know something about and somebody came and put more ideas on it, because it's going to help you get to your path in what direction you're supposed to go, so you could have less confusion. And if not, then just continue to study, because eventually it'll come. Because a lot of people don't know what their purpose is, but it's because they don't really study and observe and research and move on. They just sedentary, and you can't do that, because the laws are always in motion. So this has been Melanated Magic, aka your spiritual thug. You're a spiritual thug. Don't laugh at my accent. Checking out, go put that in your pipe now or later to smoke it and meditate on what I said. And please share my videos if you believe that it could be help to anybody, especially as simple as I put things to be able to get things in a simple way. Subscribe, hit like, and that notification bell. I'm very grateful for the people that are going subscribing, that are liking my flavor and the things that I'm sharing in this video, to help us all to be able to grow as a collective, to love each other more, to get each other more despite our differences, and to love people and meet people where they are. Okay, I believe that that's ultimately all this stuff. It really defines what love is. I love y'all so much. So I'm out. Peace.